Hi, welcome back. This is Charlie. We are working on our album that we've just got started. We're barely into it, and it does feature Stamperia's romantic collection. It's called Golden Harmony. And I wanted to tell you a little accent that I added. You know, we got the brass bling that came from Scrap and Create. So I added the oak leaf down here because it kind of blended with this. But I also cut from the 12 by 12, the envelope, scored it, inked the edges. I put small magnets here. And then inside of it, I put Never Stop Dreaming. And you can do a journaling and a photo on the reverse side. It slides in here real nice. And then this can slide right in there. So those are some additions that I did after we got done with the album. Or I should say with that signature. Okay, so here we are working on this one. And this is going to go on the first side of page 1. What I'm kind of got going here a little bit is this photo frame out of the ephemera pack measures almost 2.5 by 2 on the internal. So this would take a really nice small photo. So I'm going to put that up here. And then out of the ephemera pack is this small little flower. And I'm going to stick it right here in this corner so it acts kind of a little accent. And then out of the 12 by 12, I've cut this saying out and I've inked it. And I'm going to tape one side of it down. I need to add some tape. But then across the bottom, I'm using some more of the ephemera, and I am putting one of the floral with one of the leaves down here across the bottom. Once I get this piece stabilized, these two will go down here just fine. So then it kind of has a flow a little bit with this leaf here, and you've got a bit of a leaf up there. Now, this is a 12 by 12 piece of paper. The reverse side of it has the notes, and I am using this side that's got this leafy pattern and then a scroll here. And I love this torn paper look over here. But this piece is going to measure 7 7/8 inches across. And then we're going to measure at 8 5/8 inches in the height. So this piece here is going to be fairly quick and simple, I hope. The ephemera can really create a struggle sometimes to get those stickers off the back. But for now, real quick like, I am going to tape the back of this. And I'm hesitant whether I want to tape across the bottom or not. I think I do. I'm going to tape across the bottom. And then that's going to go down here fairly secure in this corner. Curl that tape under. All right, I'm going to come up about 3/8 of an inch and in about 3/8. I'm just eyeballing it. I'm not deliberately measuring it. And now we have a nice simple tuck right here. And I am going to lay these first, see if we can get in here. I continue to struggle trying to get the back off of these. At one point I feel like I want to give up, but then I catch a good one and I'm happy and I can peel that off. Just like that. Ta-da. And you know what? I'm going to kind of set this little guy aside because I need to put this leaf down first, or at least at the same time. Please let me in there. Ta-da! Is that the trick? Just say please. Now I want this curl right here to kind of come up underneath this flower, and then the flower laying over the leaf, and then I'm just going to come down here across the bottom. And it just helps to secure the tuck. Now we're going to go ahead and see. I'm going to try this again. Get in here and see if we can't snag the taped back on this. It literally is so sticky and strong. It pulls the paper away. It wants to tear it and separate it. I like the fact that once you get this off, you've got a nice firm, sticky, and I just realized something. If I stick this down, you're not going to be able to put a photo in there. So I really only want to secure this. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut 2 1/4-inch strips of paper. I'm just going to pick any old paper out of my scrap because I just want a couple of 1/4-inch strips. Be sure I don't put that down there, and I might be off camera while I'm doing this, and I apologize if that's the case, but I'm running this up my trimmer, and then I'm putting down some removable Scotch tape. Love, love, love this stuff. Okay, I guess it doesn't really matter. I just want it here. So I'm going to run this up. I apologize, folks, if I'm off camera doing this. I really do. But it never occurred to me until just now that I was going to need to cover a couple of these so a buyer, whoever acquires this album, can in fact get a photo in there. All right, so I've protected this top and this. I'm only leaving the adhesive here and across the bottom. And then I'm going to come in about 3/8, down about 3/8, and tack that down. Now, if someone wants to come in here and slide in a photo, they'll be able to do so. Then if they want to secure the photo, all they have to do is then tape or glue this upper corner and it will secure it in there. All right, so let's see what we can do about getting this last little piece on here. All I had to do was say please in my mind, and I found it. So I'm just going to run the stem along what appears to be the seam of the framework. And I'm going to set that down. And I just picked up on another, oh my goodness, there's tape on the back of this thing. And I'm going to trim it out of there. I've chosen to do something here that makes no sense with the ephemera. Usually when I put a flower in a corner, it's something I've cut out and it's not full of stickiness. All right, let's take a look at this again. All right, I'm a lot happier with that because now the back of this is not sticky. So if you don't want to put this on, you don't have to put this on. But if you want to run this biggest part here, run any old spare paper you've got, run it in there so because you can't see it once it's on. Okay, so this is done and we've got a nice little flow going here. So let's work on our panels. I've got everything kind of staged and ready to go, but I'm going to tear it apart here so that we can get down to this. All right, this is going to measure 8 5/8 in the height, and this one is going to measure at 6 5/8 across, and you're going to do a 1/2 inch score and a 5/8 of an inch score. Okay, so you're going to do a 1/2 inch and a 5/8 inch score, and this is 8 5/8 by 6 1/8. Okay, then this piece is going to create our pocket, so it is going to be 1 inch larger or longer, so it is going to be at 9 5/8 by 5 5/8. So 5 5/8 in the width by 9 5/8 in the length. And I've I've taped this inside. I've taped these and I'm folding them in because I want this to be mounted to the inside of this, creating the pocket. So I'm going to take this off, smash these down, and I'm going to line up with my first corner, and then, oh, for Pete's sake, am I okay? Yeah, it's stuck already on this, and every time I pushed on it, I felt like I was pushing away my work. I was going, where is it going? Come on, SCOR tape. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and let's put this on. Nope. Nope, we're not doing that yet. Ta-da! We have a little tag we're going to play with. This is going to measure at 3 inches across, and you're going to do a 1/2 inch score along the length, and it is going to be 3 3/4 in length. And this is going to come and mount in here so that it's on before the designer paper goes down. And I think I figured out that I would want it to be about so I'm at 2 3/4 of 2 1/2, so I need to pull it down here. It was 2 3/8, I think is where I wanted to be roughly. Down just a little bit more. So now I'm at 2 1/2, and I am at 2 3/8. So I want to come down just a little bit more. Okay, there we go. This is where I'm going to put it. stick my finger where it needs to go while I use my other hand to peel off the tape. And then I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to run it right along the seam of this piece. Now I will put it on. And I'm going to come right up to that 1/2 inch score line. And then I'm going to push back a bit to reinforce the score on that 5/8. All right, so that's on. Now we're going to come over. I just want to gently move this stuff out of the way. I don't want to lose it. Now we're going to start layering on this side. So our first panel is going to measure at 4 3/4 across by your 8 5/8. So 4 3/4 by 8 5/8. And this is just going to wrap. It's got a 1/2 inch score. And we're just going to wrap this right around this piece on our first layer. Okay, our second layer that's interesting. Why did I think that would be sufficient amount of tape? Well, that was a silly move. My brain, I was probably playing with the 1 inch, the 1/8 of an inch tape and just had it in hand and put it on. So now this piece is going to come in at 4 inches across by your 8 5/8. But you're going to do a 1/2 inch score and then a 5/8 of an inch score. So this is going to be 4 by 8 5/8. You're going to have a 1/2 inch and then a 5/8 of an inch score. And the gusset that you've created here is going to wrap around the work that you've already put on. And for it to wrap effectively, and I'm going to show you this, you're going to be right, you need to plant your work right in the middle of this gusset. So when we turn this over, for that to happen, you're going to be right on top of that 5/8 of an inch score line. Okay? Going to be right on top of it. Fold this over. And when you do that, you want to make sure that this score line that you've got right here does not fold onto the back. You want to make sure that it stays on the edge where it belongs. All right? Now, our last layer on this side, we're going to kind of repeat what we did on the first signature. This is going to come in at 6 3/4 across by 6 1/8. So you're 6 3/4 by 6 1/8, and you're going to have a 1/2 inch and a 5/8 of an inch score. Now this gusset is going to get full because you're wrapping literally all the work that you've just done. So this is going to be nice and snug. And again, I am right on the edge of that 5/8 of a score, and this just folds over nicely. And I almost got it center. Okay. Now, before we move much farther along, we've got to go back to this part of the build right here. I want to put a magnet right here, but to do that, because of what I'm doing on this piece here, we kind of have to put this piece together. So this is out of the 12 by 12. It has the window. And I have cut the window out. I've mounted it on some of this green cardstock. And then on the back side of it, I put some foam pop-ups. But I've also placed my magnet so that when this closes over, the magnet's going to be in place. So I may have to adjust the magnet just a little bit because I was in pretend mode when I was putting this together. So I didn't really commit to the back of that. So I'm going to put this together. So again, this is out of your 12 by 12. And this piece that I cut is at 5 1/4 inches across. And you'll be within fractions of what I'm doing. It just depends upon how you trim and cut your paper, but it's going to be 7 3/8 in its length. Now I did this again where I came in here with that wood piece. This piece, you're going to cut 2 1/2-inch strips, and then we're going to go ahead and put this together so that we can deal with the magnet. Make sure I've got the, oh, these are short. I did not cut the, oh, for Pete's sake. Well, I will save those because I'm sure I will use them. So, 1/2 inch. Really puzzled by that. I can't believe I cut that so short. So I'm looking here to see if I've switched pieces because I've got them floating all over the place. All right, so I'm going to make kind of a tick mark right there. I should be able to get two strips out of this. Because they're both the same length. Oh, I hope I cut the right one. Yay. Okay, round my corner. That's for that one. I've got myself all turned around here. And that's for that one. Oh, I think I know what I just did. I think I know what I just did. I was doing this differently. This long strip went down first. That's why. Oh, I'm so silly. I get so engrossed in what I build that I forget sometimes what I built. So then the two original pieces should come in and sit in here just nicely. I may have to trim them up just a hair. And I think so I can see this better. I am going to open this up. So this piece is a 1/2 inch, and it's going to run right along that gusset. And then this piece, you know what? I know it's going to go down, so I'm just going to put it down because this wiggling around. This is what I do when I'm trying to build them. I'm trying to keep wiggly pieces where they're supposed to be. And some of my cuts aren't dead on. But there's no reason for me to have to mess with that right now because I'm getting ready to put this on. So I want just a little bit of a gap there, and I'm okay. It's not totally perfect, but I'm okay. All right, I'd rather have the corner look correct. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. It helps when you remember what you did. And then I'm going to put this piece down here, allowing for roughly 1/16 of an inch. And now this piece is going to slide in here, and I'm going to make sure I don't have to do any necessary last minute trims. Okay, so I'm going to glue this piece down because the magnet's going on the back of the window. So if I have to lift that window, I can because it's going to be on foam pop-ups, which have a sticky back on them. And I am just praying that this works. There. It's playing nice now. All right, so now I'm going to open this back up. And where did there it is. So if this is going to sit here, and that's there, am I far enough away from the edge for my paper? That's what I should be. It looks like I've got about 3/8 of an inch. Okay, I think I'm good. If you have not done one of my builds before, I do love pulling images up off the paper. So I do like to trim things out, back them on the matching cardstock for the collection that I'm using here. And then I just simply drop this right back into place. And what it does is it gives us a raised element to this page, to this flap. Let me clean my mess up over here real quick. Okay, now I'm going to take just a smidgen of tape. I'm going to put it on the back of this magnet. Oops, stay on there. Okay, now I'm going to make sure that this gusset it's not, you see how this is sliding right here? That's kind of natural because it's being pushed against all of this. I'm going to hold on to this here and this somewhat firmly so I can straighten out this gusset right here. And then I'm going to lay this over and drop it onto the magnet. And there we go. And I have enough room to put put paper over this. This is not exactly center. It doesn't need to be, but because of the window placement for the magnet, that's kind of how it ended up. All right. So what I would like to do, let's go ahead and let's finish this panel, this side, because we've already got the top on it. Out of your 12 by 12, you're going to find this beautiful collection here, this piece. On the reverse side is the bird cage. So we're going to use this one. This is going to get trimmed to fit right here, and I might need to trim a little bit off. I do, and I'm going to take it off this edge because of this. It does eat up some of my room, so I'm going to take about 1/16 of an inch off. Now I'm going to come back in here and see how I am on this edge. I want a little bit of green showing, not enough, need to take a little bit more. So now I'm probably going to be closer to taking 1/8 off. So I will tell you what my final measurement was once I get there. Whoops. Things are flying all over the place. Okay, so come right there. I like that. That's so much better. So my piece ended up measuring in at 5 3/4 across. Now, I know you're going to, well, how tall is it? Well, I don't know. 8.5 inches tall. So I'm going to glue this guy down. And now, this little guy right here, 8 by 8 cards. Pick any two you want. I just want the journaling side. I'm not using these sides. So I'm going to put this one here. I think I might use the oaky leaf one on the top, just because it's got some nice green oak leaves. It offsets this. You can put these for photos, or you can do some little hand journaling. You can maybe put in a ticket stub if you're making this to celebrate an event. And then the other side. It's sometimes can be more enjoyable if you can use your own words to create the story rather than let the cards create your story for you. I'll use the other sides, but for now on this one, I want to use this one. Now, you have a 12 by 12 sheet of paper that is just full of floral. I have cut this piece out, and it's going to come right down here into this corner. And what I want to do is I want to tack it right along this bottom edge so that this could be a nice little tuck on this side. So I'm just going to come in here. I'm so used to mounting this stuff on cardstock, but this one I decided I was just going to go kind of naked. Kind of a funny way to describe it, but it's not natural for me. I want to put this on cardstock. All right, so now we have a nice soft little tuck. Beautiful coloring. I love this color combo. You got a nice tuck here, and then you've got some good room here to put in some photos. This is the pull-out card for this pocket. It measures at just a hair over 5 3/4 inches. But I want to double check this because we've taped the edge. And I don't know if I'm going to have to do any trimming. See, I don't really want this sticking out here this far. And it does that because when you put tape in here or glue, then it starts to create its pressure point in front of it. Even though you have 1/8 of an inch worth of tape there, it created that much of a pressure point. So I'm going to trim this down a bit. It looks like it might be about 1/4 of an inch. Like I said, I just don't want it, my personal preference, I don't want it hanging out there that far. Around these corners again, and again this tag is out of the 8x8s. Now see, I like that better. It just, to me, it just needs to be an accent. Hello, I'm here, not hello, I'm here. Sorry about that. All right, let's move on to this side. So I'm going to start with this panel here. I did something on this that if you do not want to do it, you do not have to do it. I've got this wrapped in here and I don't want to tear it. Ay, 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 ay. All right, so early on, we had this piece that was cut. And up here along the top was this greenery. Well, I went in and I cut it out so that I could use it here on the top of this, because this is going to go on this panel upside down. There are my rounded corners. Now, I'm just noticing something. This is too long. What did I do? Charlie, Charlie, Charlie. Well, we're cutting this off. Huh? I think I just pulled it out, because this is a scrap piece right here. I think I just pulled it out and made an assumption. All right, now let's see if this is going to set in here the right way. There we go. That's so much better. So now get back to this guy. I left the straight edge. That's my guide. And then I'm just going to tuck this right up here at the top of this. I've inked the edges so it would stand out a little bit, but it just creates a nice little focal point, and then you've still got room down here to either journal or put in a couple of smaller photos. So I do need to use my Powder Puff ink pad, Mahogany. And fix that. I'm going to slip this right on here. This is kind of hard to see the green edge, so I'm going to give myself a little color backing, it looks like. These pieces right here, this image, I might cut this and play with this, so try not to mess with this particular cut. I like this. We'll see. Again, I like to play with my scraps. Otherwise, they just sit over there in a pile. And you can always create something really beautiful using some of your scraps. think I'm gonna be, I gotta come down just a hair. There we go. Straighten that out. Tack that down. Get that excess glue out of there. Okay. That's done. Like I said, you've got plenty of room here. Now let's go to the inside. I put that on the wrong side. I put this on the wrong side. Wow. This was supposed to go here with the wood frame to balance this wood frame, and I put it on the wrong side. What to do, what to do. I don't want this there. I hate to say it, I just don't want it there. But that means tearing all this apart, and I used glue. I know I can put this in here and utilize these pieces, but it's not the pattern I had created. And I got carried away. I was excited about this piece. What am I gonna do? So if I was to take this apart, flip it over, that's gonna put this across the bottom. And I guess that's okay. I don't want it there. I'm sorry. I am going to take this apart. I'm just a little mad at myself. Ouch. And I'm going to have to take this off. All right, so now what I'm thinking, I'm just going to be so upset if this doesn't work. I'm thinking about if I turn this upside down, and then I've got the tape on this side. This is going to be down here, not what I wanted, but I just noticed something else. I put the paper on upside down, at least in this direction, the paper is going correct. Okay. Not much I can do about it. I screwed up. I really hope you did not as well by following me, because this is where it was intended to be to begin with, was on the inside. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I've got to close this up and let this magnet find its way back onto this top piece. And I am going to glue this down because I don't need to get in there again. This one doesn't need to come off. Okay. Now I'm in the right position that I wanted to be in, because this is what I built for here. It's those 1/2 inch strips. We have the longest one going down first, and then the 2 end pieces. And this is what is left over of this cut. These are all on the same 8x8. All right, so this one's going to go down first. My absolute sincere apologies. I just got so excited about that piece. It's upside down, but oh well. If you have not done yours, you get to fix it. If you did, all I can do is apologize. Just a little bit of a green edge. If you're smarter than me and you watch the video first before you build, then you'll know what not to do. And then I'm going to get in here. I can't see that corner very well. All right, now I'm just going to double check my measurement here. Oh, I'm good, I'm good. And I'm going to line up to the back here to those 2 corners. Okay, so there's that one. And then when you turn it over, you have this. Hopefully you've put your leaf up here, but if you didn't, actually no harm, because this is still going to hold a nice photo down here. This piece. Trying to stay in the same theme of this paper right here. We've got this piece going down here. Hold on just a second. Oh, glad I looked. So this piece, which has the postcard, is going to go here. And that's going to help to continue the theme of the paper here on the back side of your right panel. And then down here, I'm creating a collage. I've cut out a pumpkin, a nice dark brown floral, a white floral, and we're going to flank the pumpkin. And this is going to become a tuck. So I'm going to be gluing these pieces together. And then on this side, we're using this pattern right here. So you've got a nice spot for journaling or a photo that can go in down here, but I'm not doing anything else with this. Turn this back over. I'm putting the postcard side down. All right, so I want this to kind of be here. I have a mess. Here, I want this floral in here. And this one here. So I'm going to tack these down so they have them where I want them. Well, that glue didn't go where I wanted it to go. Oh, well, Charlie. Okay, now I can really tack them down. Because I don't want to get these hung up on. Okay, so now I'm going to tack all this lower hanging goodies. I don't think I'm... Okay. All right, let's double check before that sets too quickly. Oh, beautiful. Look at that. In fact, I could tack this down. I wiped all the glue off over here because I was concerned. But I think I'm going to go ahead and put the glue back. All right. Nice little tuck down here. Nice little collage. Okay. So we've got the insides are all done. These are done. This is done. Now we're going to close this. Now we're going to work on this panel. So again, I'm using this as my focal point. This is from scraps. It's not laying in the right direction, but I don't care. And then I'm going to make, because it's short, I'm going to make another nice little pocket, and I'm going to use this piece out of my scraps, and then I'm using this nice little bookmark here on this. So I'm going to tape this piece, this section down because of the magnet. Don't want it to stick yet. I don't have it in. Oh, gee, my knees, Louise. I don't have it centered right, so I don't want that sticking yet. Goodness sakes. See, and that's why I was hesitant. I noticed that I am a bit long in the tooth on this piece. I'm going to trim just a little bit off. And I was looking at that corner going, I'm off. And I wasn't paying attention to what I was laying down. Okay, so now we should be good to go. eyeballed it. I should be, oh, that's so much better. Okay. Get some of my apparatuses out of the camera. All right, now I've got this all taped and ready to go. Again, I only used 1/8 of an inch tape so that you can utilize the entire, as much as the entire pocket as possible. And then we glue this piece in. And then this. There's several of these tags. You can pick any tag you want. I almost put this one here, but I got thinking about, that's not what I wanted. All right, so that completes the inside. Close this. And I'm using another one of the big cards from the 12 by 12. And I'm using the back side. And I'm going to glue this down. I'm going to set this down. I have a little extra here. I'll trim that off later. And then this was the one. This had more of a sentiment that I like. It just sang to me a little bit. It didn't hurt at all that there were butterflies with it. And again, I'm just going to set this just inside the framework. And then I'm going to glue this down. Okay. Now I will show you, if you want to, you can put this out because these two do go together and close it. Gives you a different look. You could pull that out, this out. Magnet's still going to catch and it gives you a different look. Personally, I like this one on the inside, this one here, and then this. These continue the pattern, and it looks like you've got a framed in piece there. So let's put some tape on the back side of this, and we'll get it put into our album. Okay. So this is going to sit in here like so. Oh, and I don't know if you've noticed, from early on from my scraps, I cut 3/8 of an inch, 1/2 inch, 3/8 of an inch, and I did that all the way through here so that I could cover up all that green, all that gusset stuff. Now I'm going to remove that. Okay, I'm going to sit in like this, so let's get some tape on the back side of this. It's a little bit heavier. I'm going to use my 5/8. I was so concerned about the amount of paper I had to work with that I went ahead and took my 12x12s and pre-cut all the base pieces. That's what you're seeing here. It's not my norm. But I wanted to make sure that I had plenty enough paper to play with. I don't like making skinny albums. I was at a craft show recently, sold a plethora of albums. I was so ecstatic. And this woman made the comment to me, she's bought from me before, that she just loves the big ones because they're page turners. And that was quite nice to hear. All right, so I'm going to flip this way so I can see how I'm setting this in. And is this going to be, that's going to be the back. So I've gotten kind of brave taking that piece off because it's the most difficult to take off. All right, centering top to bottom, coming right just in front of that edge. Make sure I'm level. I've got the same distance, top and bottom. And then I can press that end down. I'm so excited that I'm getting brave about doing that. So now all I have to do is come in here, ouch, and pull these off. And now I'm going to take this off before I commit the tape on this. I want to make sure that this gusset is doing what it's supposed to do. So I'm pushing back on it a little bit, and then I'm committing the tape. All right, let's open this up. Let's get in here and let's burnish this. Sorry, camera's wiggling. All right, we are done. Got our little cards here. This one, whoops, wrong way. No, this one, then this one. Ta-da! All right, we'll be back soon for this one. See you then.